Hey, we're back.
Hey.
It really hasn't been a while. It's going to seem like
It's going to seem like that. People probably wondered if maybe we're still alive.
Has anybody asked you?
Yeah.
I've had people say, hey, you guys still doing pods?
Yeah, well, and I've had people that were guests like call me like, hey, man, was there something wrong with that? That one? Did you guys dump our podcast?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, man, just hang in there.
Yeah, we're just redoing things. Now, so we've got, you are probably, well, no, we had a man from Japan.
Oh, man.
So I was going to say, now you're going to stand on that mic, Josh. You're going to have to get right up on that thing. You pull it to you.
You can pull it to you, man.
Yeah. All the way there, yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, but you had to make sure you're almost even touching it. Just put that thing wherever you want. There you go. Yeah, you can move your chair to it. Do whatever you need to do. So you just raced in this is Josh Wiseman, right?
That is
Joshua
correct,
Wiseman. And you just raced in the what? In the Leadville 100?
Yeah, the mountain bike race this year.
Yeah, so
Leadville 100 mountain bike race.
through Colorado.
Leadville, Colorado.
Tell me all about it. Tell me the start of this.
All right. Well, so
You do that, I'm going to fix your mic.
all right. Actually, the Leadville 100 was Ken and Laura. What's his wife's name? Boom.
Yeah, see there? You just lose it.
Stage
in podcast.
fright.
Yeah.
So Ken was a coal miner, and what they had done was in Leadville they had shut the mine down. And after
Gold or coal? Probably gold. That was big gold country out in there. That was during the big gold rush, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah, way back.
they also mined for
Copper, silver.
Yeah, it's a compound. Starts with an M, I think it is. It's
Mercury.
Magnesium.
They use it for computer chips.
Oh.
So they shut the mine down, and after they shut the mine down, the town kind of, the jobs, because basically that mine ran all the jobs in Leadville.
Okay.
And so after they shut it down, Ken came up with this idea because he was a ultra runner, and he would run.
What's an ultra?
Ultra runner. Okay. So ultras are anything over the marathon distance. Marathon distance being 26.2 miles.
Okay.
So anything over that, but he was like an ultra runner that did 100-mile distances. So Leadville, Colorado is actually the highest elevated populated city in the United States. Comes in at 10,100 feet, which is exactly 100
civilization.
Feet. Correct. Which is 100 feet over Denver. So they actually make fun of Denver. And
I thought, Denver's that high?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. So basically the town, they ran out of jobs because of that. And so Ken was able to put together this race. He thought, well, if I do a 100-mile race, people are damn sure going to stay in the town of Leadville, right? They're going to spend the night, and it's going to be a big deal. And so the mountain bike race actually wasn't the first race. It was actually the running race. Okay. So it was a Leadville 100 running race. Ken done it for a few years, and then someone else came to him and said, hey, how about doing a mountain bike race? Ken was like, okay, we'll do that. So then they have the Leadville 100 running race, and then there's a Leadville 100 mountain bike race. This past year I did the 100-mile mountain bike race. Now Lifetime Fitness has come into the equation, and now there's a series of races that they do in Leadville. And Leadville's starting to become a thriving little community.
Yeah.
Because, kind of destination place.
Yeah, because they got the VBROs and all the rooms that they rent, and so
how big of a city is it, man? I mean,
I think the
town vibe,
it's a small town vibe. I mean, you're talking smaller than even Chillicothe. I mean, this is just like a Kingston.
So
maybe?
Okay, yeah. So like, give me an example. So it would be like, let's just say Kingston or Colton or one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So you leave there and then you just kind of hit the woods. Was this gravel? Was this?
What they do is
loop
with the run and both the mountain bike course. It starts in the middle of downtown. Okay, so you take off. Now the scene, I have to shoot you guys some pictures sometimes, but imagine being, first of all, surrounded by mountain ranges that's got snow on top of them. Right?
In July,
right?
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the downtown is this picturesque view. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely just stunning.
Yeah.
it goes and it actually heads up into the mountains, but it's a paved road. It's a street. And then you eventually, about 5 miles into the course, start going on gravel. And then the gravel leads you into some single track and a lot more gravel.
Okay.
So Leadville, the race itself for the mountain bike course, because the running course and the mountain bike courses, there's a little bit of difference. I'll come back to that because I've done both.
Oh, you did the
I did
run too
last year, and then this year I did the mountain bike race.
Jeez. Oh. Do you know Jenkins? You know Matt Jenkins and those guys that we have had on the show, Clay Newman, Matt Jenkins, and them?
Of them, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, I'm aware of them.
They've done those 100-miler. I don't know what they do. I do, but I don't know if it's the same.
One they go to has been in Cleveland, I think.
Yeah. So did you? So on that 100 miles, is that in a day?
Yeah, this year took me right under 13 hours because if you finish under 13 hours, you actually get an official finish.
Okay.
Anything over that, you get cut off.
Took you 13 hours to do 100 miles.
12 hours and 48 minutes, I believe it was.
What's that average speed, I guess? 12:48?
No, it's down in it's almost like 8 miles per hour.
Riding a hardtail full suspension. What are you riding?
This year I rode a full suspension. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
This is a good story too. I mean, so we head up.
You know the difference?
Yes, I've heard you guys go over
Full
that
suspension has the ass shock,
right,
basically.
Yeah. You got two shocks on a full suspension. A hardtail, you got the one shock up front.
Right.
So we pack up the van. Laura's going to join us a little later, but we pack up the van and we're headed to Colorado. Me and two other friends, Lori and Christopher. Christopher's actually a dentist there in at that family dental center out there on Western Avenue.
Okay.
And so we head out to Colorado, pack all the bikes, and we got all the gear and shit, and we got shit falling on top of us as we're going. Well, we eventually get to Kansas, and Kansas takes you forever to get through, but we get to our destination. We literally have one day, and then the very next day we start what they call the stage race. I remember I'd said before Lifetime had come in and kind of purchased the rights to this Leadville 100. Well, now they have 5 events that's in Leadville. You actually have a marathon, they call it a heavy marathon. Then they call it the Silver Rush 50, which is also a run or a mountain bike race. The Leadville 100 mountain bike race, or the 10K then, is the day after, which we ran the 10K after the day after. That was terrible.
That's brutal.
She kills me sometimes. And then the 5th race of the series is the 100-mile run. Now, they put these all together, and they call it the Lead Challenge. It used to be called the Lead Man, but you got to be politically correct. So it's the Lead Challenge now. And so that's actually my goal next year is to do the Lead Challenge. Yes.
How old are you, Josh?
47.
47. See, Chad?
I'll tell you, man, we get in our wheelhouse about 45, dude.
That's what it is.
Yeah. We really, I mean, I don't know, man. Are we the only ones that say that?
I hear a lot of, a couple days ago, I bought a dirt bike.
Okay.
Fast, KX 252 stroke.
Okay.
Got a lot of buddies telling me right now, hey, you're too old. All right. I don't think so. I think I am seeing real life stuff too often now that age is just a number. Look at what you're just doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you just did 100 miles. I mean, so you did a full suspension, right?
Yep.
Okay. No pedal assist. So tell me about the full suspension bike. So did you think it slowed you down? Did you think?
Well, in Leadville, I actually have
100 miles on full suspension mountain bike, a long time.
It is, especially when you get 12 hours and 48 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to make cutoffs along the way. Okay, you've got to be at certain places at certain times, right? Or you're at the end of the day you're over. And I was kicking ass that first part of the race. I was kicking ass. But so back to the original. So we do the stage race, right?
Okay.
The stage race is kind of an extra race. It's not in that five race challenge, but the stage race, we try to go out there, it prepares you for the 100. The 3rd day of the stage race, I'm flying down this mountain, Sugarloaf Mountains, what they call it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen YouTube of that.
And after you get out of Sugarloaf, there's this straight stretch, okay? And you can just haul ass on this straight stretch, probably going 25, 30 miles per hour on a mountain bike that's gravel, fast. Right? Yeah. All of a sudden, my back wheel just locks up and shit just explodes. Ping, 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 right? Locks up. I go kind of into, luckily it was just kind of a ditch. I just kind of fell over into a ditch. I look at the bike. I got a blown tire, of course. I got spokes all over the damn road.
Spokes is tangled up in your cassette. Yes.
It's just, shit's just screwed.
A mess.
So I walk the bike up to the end, and there's this guy.
How far is that?
Oh, it's probably half a mile to the end of to where there's an aid station coming off of Sugarloaf. And so I'm at that aid station, and at the, that also has cutoffs too, but they're pretty generous with them. But at least, I just wanted to finish the race. And I'm trying to put everything back together. And by that time, my buddy Christopher, he comes around the corner and he passes me, which I was leading him all day, and that kind of pissed me off too. Yeah. So this guy's like, hey, I've got a bike. It's not a race bike, but I've got a bike. And I was like, I'll take it. So it was a titanium, I forget, a Moots. I think it was a Moots is what it was. Just a heavy, trail bike. Okay. Not a race bike. Keep in mind, I've got a carbon fiber bike, and it's about 19 pounds, right? Yeah. And so I get on this thing that's about 30 or 40 pounds. It was
big difference.
Big difference, right? So I do finish the race. I finished the race on somebody else's bike. I did catch Christopher too.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
But I finished with a terrible time, and I was really down on myself because of that. And I thought, oh no, here comes the 100. The last thing I want to do, because the first 3 years that I'd done the 100, I didn't finish. Okay. I got cut off. Right.
Oh, they'll stop you and just say you're done.
Oh yeah, you're done. Right. So the last time I had done the mountain bike race was 2019. And I had a time of like 12 hours and 28 minutes. Well, if you finish below the 12 hours, you actually get a belt buckle. If you finish over between the 12 and 13 hours, you get this real nice finishing medal. So, my goal going into this was to get a buckle. I wanted a buckle, of course, but that didn't happen. I had to end up borrowing somebody else's bike, which is actually a pretty nice bike. I'm thinking about purchasing one. It's called a Santa Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking about getting
high tower.
Yeah. It's not a high tower.
Blur. They're all sweet.
Blur.
Yeah. Yep.
So I refer to her a lot.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of early drug use when I was, killed a lot of brain cells.
Yeah. So here's my question. All right, so that race, just let people know, to my knowledge, and I'm just kind of baby stepping into this game, is probably one of the most sought after races that there is, right? I mean, that's kind of the mecca of all this.
Yeah, it's actually one of the it's in the top 10 of mountain bike races
on the globe.
On the globe, right?
Yeah.
And
is it the biggest in the United States?
It's not the biggest. It's one of the biggest. Very popular.
Very popular. How many riders?
2,000 is kind of the number that they have. Okay. But what happens is there's a lottery for a certain amount of them. Then there's qualifiers that they have, and you can get into it with a qualifier. And then after of each of the races, they pass out these gold coins. It's kind of like a put your name in a hat, and they draw a name or whatever. Yeah. But that's the only way you can get in it.
So at 40, so you've been doing these races for how long? 5 years? Call it 5 years.
Yeah, that distance. Well, I guess the Ouachita Challenge was my very first race that I'd done in Arkansas, in the Ozarks of Arkansas, and it was a 60-mile.
I'd count that. Yep.
Yeah,
Chubby's, we all know this guy. All the folks over at AP Prep, we cannot thank you enough. Look those guys up at apprep.info. We get asked all the time, hey, what happens? How do you get over there? Hey, that's how you do it. You get on apprep.info, you look them up, you set a time for your kid's assessment. They schedule a time, you bring your kid over there, boom, it's done. They get you right in the schedule. And hey, for all you adults, you just show up on Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday night at 5:30, and they got their boxing class. classes. It's $10, or you can join by the month. So look them up at apprep.info.
So that would have been 2016,
7 years
15.
ago.
Yep.
8 years. 7, 8 years ago.
Yep.
So at age 40, let's just call it age 40, you decided that you're going to start going after the hardest races, basically, of our time and that are attainable in the United States. Why?
Well, I had hit a low point in my life.
Okay.
Besides my addiction years.
So that was real. I wasn't just joking.
No, that was real.
Yeah.
17 years I was out there. I was homeless at one point.
No kidding.
Living on a bridge.
No kidding. In Chillicothe?
It'd be Xenia.
Okay.
Green County.
Yeah. Dayton area.
Xenia.
Okay. So what ages does that have at?
Wow, that addiction grabbed a hold of me from the time that I left the house, 18 years.
So you're 36, 37. So yes, so then, okay. So
because June 29th of this year, I celebrated 17 years of recovery.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So you said you celebrate how many years?
This year?
17 of recovery. So you're coming out of that, coming into age 40, and you decide, were you at a low spot at age 40 whenever all this started? How did it start?
Because my second low point was depression.
Okay, so you got sober.
I got sober, had been sober, but then this law of depression came about.
Okay.
And so for many years, I battled that. I got up to 260 pounds.
Okay.
I couldn't hardly even walk up and down steps.
Easy now. This is the chubby guys.
Yeah, I got you. But at least you can breathe.
Yeah, right? we're less chubby than what we were when we started this thing.
Yeah. So still smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
Just was not happy with myself.
Body just not in a good state.
Not in a good state, so I wasn't good mentally, nor was I good physically. Okay. Went to an AA meeting one night, and a guy's like, "Hey, I got this bicycle. I know you're having a rough time." Because at the time, too, I didn't have a damn driver's license when I had first sobered up. You know what I mean? And
this is
a few years after that, right? This is probably 2015.
You didn't have a driver's license.
Yeah.
That's how low life was in 2015.
2013.
Not that long ago.
Yeah. Damn, I've only had my driver's license for that long. Yeah, I guess so.
So God gives you a bicycle.
Give me a bicycle. And
that's incredible.
I start going to, at the time I worked at Super Kmart.
Okay.
Right? I was the lawn and garden manager at Super Kmart. And I lived over there like off of 5th Street, off of Bridge Street, basically, on the other side of where like Speedway and that is on the other side there. And I would have to bike back and forth to work. Right?
About a mile, probably, right? 2 miles?
Yeah, 2 miles. Probably 2 miles. I'd say probably 2 miles. And so, rain or shine, I'd start biking back and forth. Things were kind of picking up a little bit. And the lady that worked in the bakery department, Maria Ponce de Leon, her dad was actually a doctor in Chillicothe, asked me if I wanted to come out on a ride with them. And they're roadies. Right,
okay.
So they would meet like every Sunday, and we'd take a road bike out. Well, I had this old clunker, but I was always the last one, and they'd have to wait for me at the stop signs. And but that's basically what started the journey. Because then after that, I met Christopher Seeley, and he kind of introduced me to mountain biking. In fact, the very first, he was like having a race outside of trails. Very first race I signed up for, I had a hell of a crash. Marked my face all up. It was. I was like, damn, I don't know if I'm going to get back on.
Don't know about this.
I don't know about this. But then he just kept taking me to races, and he took me to Waukesha Challenge, which was very exciting. I mean, it's in Arkansas, and it's pretty cool. And then next thing you know, he's like, hey, why don't you sign up for Leadville? And I got in on the lottery by luck. But that was kind of before Lifetime kind of stepped in, and now that Lifetime Fitness has stepped in, it's kind of off the chain.
So this saved you, really. I mean,
yeah, it did. Then what happens is you start running, right? I just want to be fit. I do my first 100-mile race at Mohican. Laura was actually part of the crew. She actually brought me home.
Is that how you two met?
We met at the $1.50.
Okay. All right. We had Dave.
We've had several $1.50.
Yeah, we had
guys.
several.
She's like, I was in search of a team, right? Yeah. Because my team, we didn't race that year, and I just sent one of those messages out on the $1.50 the Facebook page or whatever. Yeah. She's like, "Hey, I need a runner." I'm like, "Hey, I'll run for your team."
You was out there fishing, wasn't you? I know what you did. You got there fishing. She got you. She hooked you.
That's right. Yeah. But she's the only person crazy enough to match me, right? The only woman, but that can match.
She's
me
a savage.
Oh, she's a beast.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Laura's a savage. You're a savage.
During the week, it comes 4:30. She's getting her ass out of bed, and regardless of what I'm doing. Right?
And she does it with a smile.
Loves it.
Yeah.
Gets dressed and is on her way. So, yeah, she's the only craziest woman I've ever known to kind of match what I got going on. And so, yeah, she always crews me. You know, you talk about, you think what I do, right, of 12 hours and 48 minutes. Imagine a race, right, because the year before or every year I go and I do the Mohican 100. I've done that. This will be my 4th year. Last year I finished in 30 hours and some minutes. She's my timekeeper too. Uh-huh. So. Imagine waiting on somebody or having to go from aid station to aid station to constantly wait. I mean, her and Christopher and Laura, they do that for me every year for the Mohican 100. And if it wouldn't be for them, I don't know if I could finish that damn race. Yeah. So let me tell you, yes, Leadville is challenging, but Mohican has the same amount of elevation. Right now, granted, you're not up 10,000, up to 13,000 feet.
But the same amount of change.
Same amount of change.
Yeah.
And usually it's during June.
Which is muggy hot.
Now, is that riding or running?
Both.
Okay.
He's similar to the Leadville to where he has the he'll do the mountain bike race first, and then a couple weeks later does the run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which do you find more challenging?
Mountain biking.
Really? It's harder than the running?
I got to think more.
Okay.
Right? I got to dodge shit. I got to think more, and usually
look ahead.
I'm tearing up shit too, right? Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. So the only thing that I can tear up is my body, really, in the run, which that happened this year. I was puking my guts out the last 13, and once again, she
Chad's
brought me home.
50 right now. Now you're 50. Just turned 50. What do you say about? And I can't. You know, I feel like there's probably. I'm sure there's a jump from 40 to 50. I'm sure there's a jump from 50 to 60, 60 to 70.
Probably.
You know, that whole thing. Hey, what's up, Abram? Didn't even know he was here. What would you say to a guy that? And like I don't mean you guys are old, but you guys are older than me.
Well, I mean, hey, dude.
So
I remember a day when I was sitting there thinking, man, 50. Oh, that guy just turned 50. My God.
Well, I don't
over the hill, man.
I don't necessarily think that. Okay, but what I'm saying is
not at your age now.
No,
I mean you can see it.
Yeah, I'm 42. You know, but what I try to tell everybody, okay, because I say this on the show all the time. Biking and this fitness thing has really brought me out of a really dark place. I have to keep myself very, very, very busy with that stuff, or I still go down that dark road, you know. And I'm, you know, everybody gets through that, however. But what I'm saying is, I try to talk to them about biking. Okay, how do you think your body, impact wise, what would you say that how biking is different than running?
Well, there's not as less stress on your knees and your joints.
There's more stress on your mind.
On your mind, right? Right. The mental aspect.
But I think that helps keep a man sharp.
You know, I agree with that, absolutely, because you're having to make split-second decisions when you're out there on the bike, and sometimes you'll be riding, and one day you ride it, and the next day, you know, there was a storm that come through, or there will be some shit in the trail that you got to go around, right? And so you're making those, because if you don't, there's going to be a consequence.
Going down.
No, and everybody thinks that you're going to die, but you're not. You're always going to be. You're never going to ride outside of your comfort zone.
There are times.
Does your mind kind of police itself?
Yes.
It's like, you know, they say you can't punch yourself in the face hard enough to knock yourself out, right?
I would say that, yeah.
And you know, I mean, is that similar concept?
It is, but sometimes you underestimate or you overestimate what the bike can do, right? So that is the variable, right? We were riding, I just got Laura, she just got a hardtail, right? This is the first time that she's had a mountain bike that's not, she did have an e-bike, right? That was a mountain bike, but she got a true hardtail. And we were at Caesars Creek because they have a beautiful beginner course at Caesars Creek, right? And it's got G-outs and it's got some things that you can learn on. And so she's flying. She's ahead of me. Usually I'm ahead of her to tell her what's going on, but she's got a lot of confidence. But she just got this bike, and she hits one of those G-outs. And in Caesars Creek, they put these damn parking blocks, right, to guide the water out. But the problem is that's a cement parking block, and there's 3 of them at the bottom of the G-out. And it didn't actually fill in with dirt yet because it is a newer trail. And she hit that first parking block at the bottom of that G-out, spun her around, went upside down, and ended up in the creek water, of course. And then she's all, instead of, oh, I hurt myself, she's all like pissed. Damn.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you're ever going to get. Oh, you can get hurt. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but the odds are not.
Oh yeah, it's grass.
You don't see them carrying people off the trails,
right? It's grass. It's leaves. You could hit a tree, and there has been. I think Jubal Davis had a buddy that slipped on some leaves, and there was a misfortune there, and he did pass away. But I mean, that's very rare compared to road biking, where I have to deal with other people and
dogs,
and cars, and you're correct, dogs, and like I said, I had done I had also done that race not a race, but the ride, tall serve, right? And so every year that I'd done tall serve was always like kind of looking behind me. I had to get a mirror because people passing, and then it's kind of a sketchy.
It's dangerous
going into Portsmouth.
Yeah, I love the woods for the simple fact you don't have to contend with cars.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you have to contend with dogs. If you do, there's typically an owner there.
Yeah.
I liked everything about it better. I hate riding on the road.
Now, when you go to a place, though, and it starts getting more populated, like it's more popular, you get more and more riders there. Doesn't that present a whole different level of challenges as well?
Well, it beats the trail down, and you'll have, routes that start to expose themselves and things like that.
Traffic.
That's it.
Most of them are
traffic.
Certain directions, though.
Yeah. That is correct. Like, even if you go up to Alum Creek, like on 3 days a week, it goes one direction, and then
even days one way, odd days another.
Yeah, it goes the other way. I think we actually even started that beginner course going the wrong way because it's a sign.
Yeah. And it's becoming just such a big thing. Like it amazes me that like we can't get something going in Southern Ohio that's not, I don't want to say as big as Leadville, but like even that GPS 100 and I just don't know why we don't have it, because we're about the closest thing to having that sort of terrain.
Yeah. Well, the problem is yes, we can ride in the state parks, but the Division of Forestry is the ones that have a problem with us
That's
riding.
the second time we've heard that.
Right. And so Scioto Trails, that's huge. That looks huge. But really only a small portion of that is actually the park that we are allowed to ride in. Right.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you about one of our special friends and friend of the program, Geiger Brothers Construction. Man, those guys have been with us since the start. Scott Massey, even though we're kind of hard on you sometimes, we sure do appreciate your sponsorship. And guys, if you own a commercial business and you need some contracting, engineering work, anything done, give those guys a call. 740-286-0800. Geiger Brothers. Thanks.
Yes, we ride on things like Buckeye, but technically we're not supposed to be riding on Buckeye. Technically, right?
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there as a public disclaimer.
Yeah.
Technically, we're not supposed to ride Buckeye.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of land that just isn't developed for it yet.
But then the forestry, as soon as they see a mountain bike trail or something come about, they really go in and trash it. They get the bulldozers out. And
they don't want you.
Why are they, why so opposed? If the land really isn't being used for anything anyway.
Well, other than trees, we seem to be selling a lot of our trees around here.
Well, up until recent, and I'm going to say like 2010, and I'm being generous, the outdoor sports world was not a very earthly group.
Right. Okay. So they were trashing the place,
especially where we live.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you feel like that's the case? I feel
No.
like there's nobody more in tune with
it still goes on because you're still going to get a lot of, motorheads and people like that just won't go out and drink beer and trash up the woods. And they have to do their damnedest to regulate that they stay out of there.
Yeah. You know what we've never gotten a good answer for, though, is, it seems to me as though there's a gap in this. Like if the three of us sat here right now and we said, hey, we've got X amount of money, we can do this. It's very hard to develop a piece of land for that sort of use.
You need a lot of it.
And we were asking, all right, what are the steps, right? What are the steps, right? Not really. I mean, it branches in several different ways, and you seem to always get knocked down by the Ohio Department of Forestry.
Correct.
Yeah. They own the big parcels of land. Now you could get in with Mead or one of those type of places, but
do you really want a place that's been completely clear cut? I mean,
we don't even have any like that. What they can do in Colorado is they can take a mountainside, that is really good for nothing else.
Well, what about like
just make it a bike park?
Strip mines here? Like
that's
strip mines.
I
mean, that's a similar. I mean, it's probably uglier than what it is in Leadville, but I mean,
right now,
it would give you some similar terrain.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, there's always talk in this area down here of developing the old mines because people just go there and ride them anyways.
It's kind of genius out of the gentleman there in Leadville.
It's
because it's basically wasted land.
So what they do is they actually have the stage race, and then after the stage race, they have this fair in the middle of town, like the following weekend, and they have a parade, and all the stores are open. And then the following weekend after that, they do the mountain bike race. And then following weekend after that. So for 4 weeks straight, there's something going on in this town.
Yeah.
It's just hopping.
And there's like...
What would be the closest big city, Josh, to that?
Denver isn't right around... Or Golden's probably... It's about an hour and a half. It would be east of Leadville.
Okay. So back towards us.
Yeah.
It's
back towards Denver and back towards
because
us.
I'm sure there's overflow. Do they have the infrastructure there to house everybody and
it's tough.
Is it
going.
commercialized with
it's tough going
hotels and stuff?
No, it's not commercialized. Okay. It's still old school.
But you're staying in your transit van, aren't you?
Well, we took it. We actually stayed at a VBRO. We did it because of the length of time.
Yeah.
But normally, we
got the van life.
Down. We got the van down.
Yeah, I saw the van the other day. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Did you bring it here?
No.
No. I was gonna say that thing's sweet.
Yeah. We got the mountain ranges that it's kind of wrapped in the side of it, and
kind of like how Jubal Seniors was. Kind of different.
And got a real nice bed in there, and all of our equipment and everything we need. We got running shoes and cycling shoes. And
Josh, how many races are you guys doing a year? I mean, how many different events? I mean, you guys, or should I say a month?
Or you're doing one about every weekend.
There's one every weekend.
Two.
Yeah, there's one every weekend.
You're doing something every weekend.
Every weekend.
What's your child situation? You guys, you don't have any kids,
Mine's 22. Yeah, so she's out.
Yeah, like Chad, he's every Saturday now. You can't use that excuse because if you want to get up and go run 4 or 5 miles, you still can.
Oh yeah.
But
Laura will get your ass out of bed.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. You just got to get up early if you're going to get it done. I mean, I'll tell you. You were talking about being 50, and I've said this to you before, and I don't really know what it is. But my lifestyle when I was in my 20s and 30s, when I should have been in my prime, was garbage, man.
So mine.
I mean, hell, I was smoking cigarettes, weighed almost 400 pounds.
Yeah. Not just cigarettes.
Yeah.
Massive. I would take for a 4-day concert, I'd take a carton.
Well, and that's the thing. We never really did, we weren't smokers.
No.
Yeah, we weren't sitting outside the office going out and burning one. But if we would go out on the weekends and just binge drink and smoke a pack of cigarettes
every night.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying occasionally maybe I might. I don't think I could do that now.
I know I couldn't sit down and smoke a pack.
I don't think I could. But I will. I'll try one occasionally.
Yeah.
But, so I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But I feel so much better at age 50 than what I did 25 years ago that it's ridiculous.
Cleaner living.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. I mean, of course, you don't have time for all that nonsense. Yeah. I mean, Another
thing that I did was during that time frame, I I guess what you would call now pescatarian.
Oh, okay.
I don't eat meat or chicken,
Okay.
So just fish.
just fish. And that's not that often. That's occasionally.
Now, how hard is that to
At
pursue,
first,
man?
it was very difficult, especially in Ross County, too.
Well, that's what I mean.
right?
Where we live, that's not the easiest.
When we travel, because one of Laura's goals is to do a half marathon in all 50 states. And I think
Okay.
we're at 24 states. So we get to travel a lot. I mean, I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate, just what's going on in my life in general right now compared to where I was. So you say, I know that I'm living my better lives.
Yeah.
Because I done trashed it when I was younger. As soon as I left high school, like I had basically a full ride to Wilmington College.
Sure.
Was they do it through grants and financial aid because they're Division III. But I had it made, and just within 2 years, just trashed myself. So, now looking back, like I'm healthier now than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Right. I gotten some blood work done here recently and was like just shocked. Right. I'm literally shocked.
Well, when you think about it, like I think a lot of it with me, like when I was that age, I don't know that I ever thought about my health too much. Like
No, you
I
didn't.
did. I mean, I don't think I was really even thinking about.
We didn't realize
Hey, dude,
the
there's
damage.
gonna be a consequence for us later, dude.
But I don't think there is. I really don't.
Well, there's not something that you can't fix.
I've seen it time and time again. You see these complete changes, and the only thing that I've seen is the guys that are determined to do it.
Well, here's
Do
the
it.
thing, man. If you feel like shit, go out
Yep.
and lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
Right?
mean,
it's
you
not, on me personally, I know what I need to do for me personally to maintain my happiness. Right.
And that's what it's about. It's about maintaining your happiness. Nobody says there's a number of weight. Right now, I'm definitely not the skinniest I've ever been. I'm definitely not the fattest I've ever
Well,
been.
and it's
I'm
it's
happy.
also got to be right here, man. Like that's kind of like I think
Yep.
everybody kind of has to find that.
Whatever they're happy with.
You got to
I mean,
find that balance.
if a man is happy, truly happy with himself at 400, 500 pounds, sitting on the couch watching TV, if he is truly happy
No,
with
that's true.
himself,
Yeah.
right, then albeit. But
I doubt he is.
Right, because something's ailing.
you just
right?
don't feel good, dude.
Yeah, you just don't feel good, right? If I don't feel good physically, I'm not going to feel good mentally,
Yeah.
and it goes hand in hand. If I don't feel good mentally, I'm not going to feel good physically.
Well,
Tell
and,
me-
and then you're not going to be productive.
Oh, hell no.
Tell
And
me
then
a
you
guy
guys-
that doesn't enjoy. Now, maybe it happens as you get older, but I still love just a good old fashioned sweat, just to get going, and that way. And I love.
I'll be honest, man. I don't know that I've ever enjoyed any form of workout in my life.
You don't enjoy
And that
a good
includes,
sweat.
all those years playing football and stuff. I mean, well, sure. I mean, I'll tell you what I love is the feeling you get after you're done.
That's what I'm
working
saying.
out.
That's what I'm saying.
gratification.
The gratification of
Yeah.
saying, man, your body feels almost just a little bit toxic free.
Well, and you sleep better.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, everything. I mean, and I mean, well, here's what I've found. And I mean, I'm sure I could probably go harder, but I've found a good place. This 20, 30 minutes a day, man. That's like my magic number. If I get my body moving for 20 or 30 minutes and
feel
don't
great.
eat like a maniac,
Yeah, that's the main thing for me.
I mean, that's, and I'm telling you, man, it was like until you kind of make that change as far as your lifestyle that you decide. For me, I got diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. I had 2 very young kids, and it's like, all right, dude, you better lose about 100 pounds or more and start eating right, or you're going to orphan your kids.
That's real.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's what it took. It took that punch in the nose. I was probably 38 years old, but
Isn't it crazy though about how that age of life though everybody kind of switches just to
well, something happens. You'll get like some kind of a health scare. You'll get some kind of a wake up call.
or a buddy does, or
Yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah,
your
something-
parents do, something happens.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of guys flip the script at around age 35 to 45.
Oh yeah, you bet.
It's like, oh shit.
Well, and I mean, I hope I didn't wait too late. I feel great now, but I mean, you know what though, man? Like you look at it and you think, man, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I think I might have been on a path to just keel over, dude. I mean,
We've got some buddies I'm worried about.
I mean, dude. I mean, I'm not tall by any means, but 400 pounds. I'm not big enough to carry that, dude. I mean, that's tough. It's tough on the body. But like, you guys are doing the extreme side of it.
I'm not. He is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd ever get there. I'm real happy with just the fact that I make myself move.
There you go. I mean,
And I think there's
for me,
different levels, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is it an adrenaline thing for you, Josh? Or I mean,
adrenaline?
Oh yeah, it is.
And the mountain bike, yes, there is an adrenaline that happens when you start to be able to handle the bike, and you can go flying around some curves, or you can
Tell
go
me
down
it doesn't
some
make
down.
you think you're 10 years old.
Oh, absolutely, right. My freedom.
Yeah.
I've got freedom.
Yes, a total
go-
mindset of a
I can
10-year-old.
go wherever the hell I want, and I can go get lost in the woods if I want, but I got freedom.
right. How long does it take you though, on a bike, to feel comfortable taking those turns at 17?
Well, you
miles
just
an
go
hour
into
or
just
whatever?
however long it takes you.
You just don't. I mean, you just
Oh,
kind of
there's-
let you
there's
set your own
still stuff.
pace. Or
Yeah,
what?
there's still stuff that I can't get over that I
Yeah.
need help on. That that's probably the reason why I'm breaking shit all the time too.
Okay.
I got a couple buddies. That
Great.
help me
I don't
out.
think Great Seal's the place for a beginner to go.
No,
No. Yeah.
No, it's too steep.
No.
Yeah.
It's now like Alum Creek, one of those places is a little flatter. And then
Chauncey or what is that?
yeah, Bailey's wouldn't be bad.
Bailey's. Yeah.
It's
Oh
not
yeah,
bad.
Laura's been wanting to go to Bailey's.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice and flowy. I mean,
John Bryan near Yellow Springs. That's a real nice one. I've been
Yeah.
taking Laura there. Laura really enjoyed that one.
and then, dude, it'll take you about within the first 20 minutes. You won't know why, but you'll just have a big old smile on your face, and you'll feel
Yeah.
like you're 10 years old again
Yeah. Yeah.
in the backyard.
But now, did both of you, like Josh? I understand you. It sounded to me like you kind of, when you first started, you started road biking.
Yes.
And then kind of went to the mountain
On a
bike.
Walmart bike,
And-
basically,
and
right?
Pudge, didn't you do the same thing? Kind
I
of
had
started riding bike trails, like pavement trails,
Bike paths.
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 Yeah.
And then that you kind of think, what I made the mistake of taking that Walmart bike into the woods, and then I thought the woods would just be too hard, and
Right.
didn't realize that you upgraded bikes, and then
Yeah.
it gets easy, it gets manageable.
Well, like, so
know,
you're saying you go out there on the wrong bike, you're going to get a bad impression.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah,
equipment
you don't
matters.
Want,
The
you don't want to take a
equipment
beach
matters.
cruiser out there to
Great seal. Yeah.
seal.
Think you're going to be a mountain biker.
Go down
your
barbed
baby
wire,
blue, and your
barbed
baby
wire
blue
and,
beach cruiser
yeah.
with a basket on it or something there. Yeah. Oh my goodness! Just finished up with one of our favorite stops after football.
McDonald's.
That's right. Thank you, Brad and Sarah Munn, and all of our local McDonald's restaurants for being great sponsors here at the Chubbies. Chubbies, I still want to know how many points you got. I've got more of them tonight. Go to McDonald's. Help out Brad and Sarah Munn. They sure help out our communities. Thanks, Brad and Sarah.
down barbed wire in your beach cruiser. That,
Yeah.
I like to see that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good video.
But it depends on your bike.
Yeah.
I think everybody should have one. I don't know why they don't. Like, I think it's that
yeah.
freeing.
It is.
I've got that much out of it anyway. So
Well,
It, like I
it's
said,
fascinating.
it changed me. It changed,
So all right, what
individuals I hang out
of
with.
all the races that you do, what is your favorite one, man?
Mohican 100 run.
Every time
Here in
That's
Ohio.
okay.
Is that here in Ohio? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Loudonville, Ohio.
Loudonville. That is up.
It's a beautiful state park.
Zanesville,
Mansfield.
Mansfield. Yeah.
And I mean that. So like you just like that course, or was that one of the first 100 milers you ever did?
Actually, on the mountain bike, I just now start to like that course on the mountain bike. It beats the hell out of you. I mean, it beats the hell out of you. There's roots and just G outs in and out of the creek beds. It'll beat the hell out of you. It's a tough course.
Yeah.
But the run, just simply because it was probably the first 100-mile run that I done,
Yeah.
and I actually got what they call the last Mohican. I got last.
Oh, okay.
I got dead damn last.
Yeah.
Right before the cutoff.
Oh.
Right before the
So you
cutoff.
made it.
Like
You
it
finished.
was. I did. I got
Yeah.
an official finish. I got the belt buckle, and I got the last Mohican.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on the banners, there's only two people that's on there: is the first place and the last
Mohican.
Mohican.
That's
Right?
cool. Okay.
So I'm on the banner. I'm on the banner.
Yeah.
Right. And then just year after year, I just started improving my time, and it gives me something to look to train for.
Yeah.
Right. It gives me my carrot that I dangle.
How long do you have to train for a 100-miler, or are you the guy that just trains constantly and says, "All right, well, let's go run this weekend"? I mean, is that? It sounds like that might be kind of where you are.
I put in miles, but my run coach, Chris Stengel, he's probably not happy with me at times because I don't do what I should be doing. Like, he has a plan for me.
Sure.
And if I would just follow the plan, I'd probably have less pain and probably do it a little faster. But, you know, I'm stubborn at times, and sometimes I like to go out and run 10K and the next day do a half marathon and then get on the mountain bike and then do this and do that and go work out beforehand. And then there's some Sundays where I'm like, oh, shit ain't happening today.
I was just saying, now there's got to be a time when you're going that hard, man.
Yeah.
Like, how often do you just have to kind of shut down and rest?
Your body tells you.
About once a week.
For me, my body will tell me, like, hey, you need to cut it out. You need to
start getting sore.
Eat some calories and just take a rest.
Yeah.
But then we've got a mentality like sometimes we're dead as hell and shouldn't do some of the stuff that we're doing that we go out and do it anyway. You're right.
Yeah.
Next weekend, I got a triathlon, canoe, run, and mountain bike at Mohican. The very next day, we're going to Portage Lakes, and I've got an Olympic distance duathlon.
That's a busy week.
Now, what is the distance? What is it?
For the Olympic distance?
Yeah.
I run a 5K, bike 26 miles, and then I run a 10K.
Ooh.
As fast as I can.
Yeah.
But so, man, I mean, you must be in peak physical condition if you don't have to do ramp up training for that.
I mean, do better.
Your training is running other races. It sounds to me like.
Yes, I mean. Right. Because not gonna lie, even all the way back in my football days, like I hated two-a-days. I hated to train. Yeah. But you put me on the field on Friday night.
Ready to go.
Right. Let's turn the lights on. It's ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll.
So that's kind of like you like to train. Playing game, man.
Right. So you put me in the game or we pay for an entry. I don't think there's maybe one race, maybe. If we've paid the entry, we're racing.
Yeah.
Rain or shine, or we've been through some storms. Like, if she paid the entry, because she's the one that would be like, hey, Josh, there's a race here. And, of course, me, I'm like, sign me up.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Right? Well, then I won't even notice it, but it'll be a week later, right? And she's like, hey, I got another race. Yeah, that sounds good. Sign us up. And hell, the next thing I know, it's like 6 weeks in a row we're racing, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, right? I love it because, like I said, I'm not real big on practice.
Yeah. So, like, really, when you're talking about training for a 100-miler, I mean, if you're running 2 races every weekend.
Yeah, she'll sign me up before the 100-mile. She'll sign me up race after race after race. She signed me up with this one in New York. Good golly. It kicked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking New York. I'd been to Manhattan. I'd been to the big city.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, well, they can't have very much elevation. Shit.
Yeah.
They had a race that had just as much elevation in the first half of it that Mohican did in the last, or in the full race at Mohican.
Really?
Yeah, it was brutal. Just barely finished that one, like seconds, I think, before the cutoff.
Huh.
I make things dramatic sometimes. Right?
I feel like I should bring a drum and wait, do a drum roll at the end.
I'm compelled. I want to go watch this guy race.
Oh, yeah.
Man. If he's somewhere close, I
Yeah.
want to see it.
Yeah, it's man, is it entertaining. Looking back on it, like the Mohican 100, they're constantly making fun of me, you know, doing different crazy shit because I get to a point where I start seeing shit.
Yeah, that's what they
There was one year that all these black chipmunks, there was about 100 of them. They were like all over the place, and I couldn't run because I was stepping on one or.
Oh my!
Yeah, it was. I've seen some, and then I've seen real shit and thought it wasn't. There was a raccoon that I was wanting to go pet and touch and cuddle up next to, and Lori, my buddy's girlfriend, was like, "No, Josh, that's real.
That's real. Yeah, don't do that.
The raccoon kick your ass. You better get away from it." Right? So it's just experiment, just things that happen during that race. It's just the experience is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because we're friends, right? We're all friends, and we get together, and then we go out to eat afterwards, and I'm falling asleep, and I got pizza running down me, you know, because I haven't slept for 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the health, that's the carrot, right? That keeps me going because, you know, I'll be like, oh, well, I better get out and do something because I got this big race. Right. I better go out and do something because I got this big race. And so
keep something in front of you.
That's how I look at it, and that's how I keep going. You know, and then I'm lucky enough to have a partner that's part of that, right? That doesn't be like, oh, well, where are you going this weekend? You're riding your mountain bike again? Like, you're just a little kid. You know, I don't get that because she's like, well, hell yeah, let's get riding the mountain bike.
Throw my bike in there too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Right. She got pissed the other day because I put a little scratch on hers and scratch my bike. Just got that damn bike.
Yeah.
You got anything else for him, Chad?
No, man, that was awesome.
Yes.
I enjoyed
Hey,
it.
cheers, man. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Josh,
no
thanks,
problem.
man.
Yeah, I've enjoyed
Appreciate
the story.
it, man. We'll have to come back.
Yeah.
I want to hear updates, man.
That's I told Laura that was my only goal, was that you guys would invite me back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
well,
invited back.
Goal accomplished.
Yeah. So,
Good deal.
Hey, follow him up. Look him up. You on Instagram, Facebook.
I am Instagram Wink Wiseman, and then Facebook it's Joshua Wiseman. You can find me.
Yeah. So that's where I found your races or saw them. You was sharing them around.
She's great for the media aspect. Once again brought to you by Celsius Outfit.
There you go. Yeah.
She's great with that. She'll always take pictures, and like there's a picture from Leadville when I finished the race. They all gathered around me and they were like making his face, and I am just smoked. I got this Coke can and I'm like this, and they're all around me making faces at me and stuff. And so that's important.
Yeah.
Right. You got friends that support you through that type of thing. That's a big deal.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
I agree. Well, looks up. Hey, thank you, Chubby, for sticking with us.
Like and subscribe.
You heard the man. See you.
Boom.
See you.